and welcome to South Asia Today, where we bring you in-depth insights into the key events shaping South Asia. I am Shivangi Mishra and here are today's top stories. India launches Operation Sindu to evacuate citizens, including 9 Nepali nationals amid Israel-Iran tensions. Pakistan exposed at UNHRC. UK PNP demands justice for extrajudicial killings. Human rights crackdown in occupied Kashmir. 11th International Yoga Day celebrate with enthusiasm across India and Nepal. Let's begin the show. India has launched Operation Sindu to rescue its citizens amid the growing Iran-Israel conflict. Over 3,000 Indian students, along with 9 Nepali nationals, were safely evacuated from Iran and Israel on the rescue flights. Indian embassies remain on high alert, actively assisting nationals in high-risk zones and coordinating further evacuations. The operation reflects India's swift and strategic humanitarian response in a volatile geopolitical crisis. We have this report. Amid tensions between Israel and Iran, the government of India has promptly rolled out Operation Sindu to secure the safety and return of its citizens caught in the crisis. With Indian diplomatic missions working around the clock, further evacuations are expected as the government monitors developments closely and continues to prioritize the well-being of its people. With Indian diplomatic missions working around the clock, further evacuations are expected as the government monitors developments closely and continues to prioritize the well-being of its people. The Ministry of External Affairs is demonstrating its dedication to safeguarding Indian citizens by effectively organizing rescue flights.
We launched Operation Sindu on 18th of June. We have around 10,000 people of Indian community members in Iran, around 40,000 people in Israel who are Indian nationals. From Iran, we have so far evacuated 3,426 Indian nationals, 11 OCI card holders, 9 Nepalese nationals, and some Sri Lankan nationals as well. I'll give you the exact figure, plus 1 Iranian national who happens to be a spouse of an Indian national.
More than 3,000 students, including 9 Nepali nationals, have been safely evacuated from conflict zones so far. Upon their return, many students expressed immense relief and heartfelt gratitude, recounting their experiences during the crisis.
बहुत इन्होंने किया, बहुत अच्छा किया, शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ इंडियन गवर्नमेंट को, इंडियन एम्बेसी को, हर किसी लिए हेल्प किया है उसको शुक्रिया, दिल से शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ।
तेहरान में हालत कुछ दिनों के लिए बहुत ख़राब था, जैसे कि हर रोज़ रात को ये लोग अटैक करते थे ये सब। फिर उसके बाद हम लोग इंडियन एम्बेसी ने अरेंज किया मशहद के लिए, वहाँ पे सेफ था, होटल, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, फ्लाइट, सब कुछ, तो बहुत अच्छा था।
A ceasefire brokered by US President Donald Trump was announced on Tuesday and appeared to be holding through Wednesday, offering a brief respite to the region. Both Iran and Israel have claimed victory in the aftermath of the conflict, but the volatile situation continues to pose risks to foreign nationals. As the conflict continues, Indian missions are staying alert, helping citizens move from high-risk areas to safer places and arranging more evacuations when needed.
आज हम इस्राएल से 224 भारतीयों को स्वागत किए हैं। अभी तक इस्राएल से 850 लोग आए हैं। वो जॉर्डन और इजिप्ट का बॉर्डर पार करके आए हैं। उधर तक लैंड मूविंग हुआ था, उधर से एयरपोर्ट आए, एयरपोर्ट से भारतीय वायुसेना का फ्लाइट इधर तक पहुंचाया है।
एक हफ्ते से बहुत पैनिक था, सिचुएशन देख ही रहे थे, कंटिन्यू शेल्टर में हम लोग को रात बितानी पड़ रही थी, मगर वहाँ पे सेफ्टी भी था सर, मगर ये था कि थोड़ा सा परिवार वाले काफी चिंतित थे सर, और भारत सरकार की तरफ से एक अपॉर्चुनिटी प्रोवाइड कराई गई कि अगर जो हम निकल सकते हैं तो स्केप कर सकते हैं, तो स्केप कर लिए सर और आ गए हैं, बहुत खुश हैं सर।
India's swift response through Operation Sindhu echoes a long-standing tradition of protecting its citizens in times of crisis abroad. Over the past decade, India has successfully conducted numerous evacuation missions around the world. In 2015, amid the civil war in Yemen, India launched Operation Rahat, rescuing over 4,600 Indian and foreign nationals from dangerous situations. Again in 2021, during the Afghanistan crisis, India swiftly evacuated its citizens and embassy staff as the situation worsened, underlining its proactive stance in global emergencies. In 2022, during the Russia-Ukraine conflict, the Indian embassy in Kyiv coordinated complex evacuations by air and land. Operation Sindhu is the latest initiative that underscores India's steadfast commitment to protecting its citizens no matter where they are in the world. Once again, Pakistan finds itself in the international spotlight, and not for the reasons it desires. The so-called protector of Kashmiri rights is now being exposed as the real oppressor of those very people. At the 59th session of the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva, a powerful protest led by the United Kashmir People's National Party revealed the gruesome truth of Pakistan's colonial brutality in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. From extrajudicial killings and arbitrary arrests to media blackouts and the suppression of political voices, the protests tore apart Islamabad's hollow claims.
On June 24th, in front of the UN Human Rights Council building in Geneva, members of the United Kashmir People's National Party stood with posters, placards and an unwavering demand: justice for Jarnosh and Jibran Naseem, two Kashmiri brothers murdered in cold blood. Jarnosh and Jibran Naseem were murdered by Pakistani forces in Rawalkot, their only crime resisting injustice. Despite public outcry, no FIR has been registered, no inquiry ordered, no media allowed to report. A state-sponsored cover-up is underway and the world has taken note. The protest called for an independent fact-finding mission and an international judicial commission to investigate this extrajudicial killing, a case which Pakistan has tried to bury under silence and media blackouts.
हमने ये ज़रूरी जाना कि एक ऐसी फैमिली जिसके बच्चों को दिन दिहाड़े जो है वो कत्ल कर दिया गया है और उनके खिलाफ पाकिस्तान ऑक्युपाइड कश्मीर के किसी भी थाने में कोई FIR रजिस्टर्ड नहीं है, किसी कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ से उनको जो है वो इश्तिहारी नहीं करार दिया गया है। इसके बावजूद पुलिस ने एक झूठी कहानी, और झूठी कहानी ये थी कि जिस वक्त वज़ीर अमूर कश्मीर ने कश्मीरी कौम के लिए अब्यूजिव लैंग्वेज रखी, तो जरनोश जो एक कश्मीरी नौजवान था, स्टूडेंट था, उसने उनके एक जलसा में उनकी तरफ जूता उछाल दिया, तो न सिर्फ उसे बल्कि उसके भाई को भी कत्ल कर दिया। तो ये जुल्म और ज़्यादती जो है हमारे उस एरिया के अंदर ऐसी हो रही है कि जिसके लिए हम समझते हैं कि आवाज़ बुलंद करना ये बहुत ज़रूरी है।
But this isn't a one-off. The killing of Zarnosh and Jibran is part of a larger pattern of state terror orchestrated by Pakistan. In its statement, UK PNP detailed a grim reality: arbitrary detentions, torture, media gag orders, enforced disappearances, and a total collapse of civil liberties in PoJK and POGP. These occupied territories have been turned into open-air prisons where asking for basic rights is treated as sedition and peaceful activism is crushed with brute force. Families of victims are not only denied justice, they are denied the right to even speak.
Unfortunately, Pakistan is not ready to listen to the voice of progressive, secular, human rights defenders, political activists, and this is alarming situation people are facing in Pakistani-occupied Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. We have raised that we have no freedom of expression, and during recent crisis between India and Pakistan, extremist forces are roaming freely, and state is not ready to curb on these extremist groups, and they are glorifying this issue, this crisis, and they say that we won this war, and people living on the line of control, they are suffered, their houses are damaged, destroyed, and they are displaced. And we demand Pakistan should reconstruct their houses, give them financial assistance, and their rehabilitation must be done immediately.
Even as Pakistan lectures the world on human rights, it refuses to act against extremists within its borders. Instead, it uses brute force to crush peaceful ethnic movements in PoJK, Gilgit-Baltistan, Balochistan, and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. While the world condemns terror, Islamabad continues to harbor it at the cost of its own people. In both Gilgit-Baltistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, political activists and secular leaders who speak out for their rights are branded traitors, arrested, and tortured. Dozens are jailed under false charges. Their only demand: ownership of local resources and basic human dignity. The UKPNP has urged the UNHRC to immediately send a fact-finding mission to Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. They have demanded a judicial commission with international oversight to investigate the extrajudicial killings of Zarnosh and Gibran. While Islamabad speaks of Kashmiri freedom, it jails Kashmiris who demand it. The time for global silence is over. The truth is out. And it's time the world held Pakistan accountable, not just for what it says, but for what it does.
Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in a segment called Asia Watch.
Hundreds of bottles covered the ground of Bogota's main square on Tuesday, June 24th, as part of a protest demanding better working conditions for recyclers. The action, organized by the National Association of Recyclers, aimed to raise awareness about the value of recyclers' work, urging authorities to provide public recognition and better prices for materials. In Bogota, there were 24,310 recyclers in 2020 working under challenging conditions, often without social security or protection from labor risks, facing competition from large corporations, according to Greenpeace. Despite their vital role in the recycling value chain, they struggle for recognition and fair compensation, highlighting the need for societal support and proper waste separation to dignify their work and contribute to a sustainable future. In downtown Mexico City, Italia Segovia's designs are turning heads as usual. She and her friends wear colorful garments with bold colors, lace, volume, and bandana paisley patterns, all accentuated with loud, heavy makeup. Segovia, known to her friends as Kumiko, calls her work Chikanjuku, a fusion of Mexican-American Chicano culture and Japanese Harajuku style, named after the Tokyo district renowned for its bright-colored accessories, outlandish makeup, and elaborate hairstyles. Chicano style was popularized by Mexican-Americans in the US, who felt out of place in both countries because of their mixed backgrounds, said Segovia. Though she is not Mexican-American, she has several relatives in the US who inspired her deep love for the style she now draws from. Segovia, who has almost 30,000 followers on Instagram, mashes the oversized shirts, khakis, and flat brim caps, analogous to Chicano culture, with the candy floss fairy tale pop of Harajuku. The makeup might include dark lining around the lips and eyeliner that emulates Japanese geisha style.
Anger is spilling onto the streets of Pakistan-occupied Gilgit-Baltistan as the people rise against decades of betrayal and brutality. Protests are surging after the enforced disappearance of Joint Awami Action Committee members and local activists, triggering widespread outrage. Families of the detained are leading the charge, demanding justice and the end of Pakistan's authoritarian grip. From denial of basic rights to being excluded from the constitution, the people of occupied Gilgit-Baltistan are now defying silence with resistance.
In the shadow of snow-capped peaks, a storm of resistance has erupted across Pakistan-occupied Gilgit-Baltistan. From Skardu to Gilgit, residents poured onto the streets outraged over the enforced disappearances and detentions of Joint Awami Action Committee activists. Protesters say even hospital patients were dragged away during Eid, sparking fresh anger and calls for justice. With women, youth and elders united, the region has turned into a cauldron of defiance, demanding answers, dignity, and the long-denied rights of the past 76 years.
लिहाजा आज के इस पिंडाल के विसातत से इन माऊ बहनों की बहादुर माऊ बहनों की मौजूदगी में इन नौजवानों की मौजूदगी में मैं गिलगित बल्तिस्तान के कोने कोने में अपील करता हूँ। हमने ईद के लिए खामोशी इख्तियार की, उस दौरान हमारे बीमारों के साथ जुल्म किया, अस्पताल से बगैर डिस्चार्ज करके जेल में ले गए, जुल्म के पहाड़ तोड़ दिए। तुम्हारे ये जुल्म के दिन नहीं रहेंगे, हमारे असीर बाहर आएंगे और हम अपने गिलगित बल्तिस्तान के 76 साल हिसाब किताब भी लेंगे।
At the heart of the unrest lies a deep-rooted sense of betrayal. Protesters slammed Pakistan's decades-long neglect of occupied Gilgit-Baltistan. No medical or engineering universities, no infrastructure, not even basic health care. The crowd echoed damning accusations. While Islamabad prioritizes foreign aid to Ukraine, cancer patients in the region suffer without treatment. Anger is mounting as families demand an end to what they call systemic oppression and economic apartheid.
तुमने यहाँ बिजली नहीं दी, तुमने यहाँ तालीम नहीं दी, तुमने यहाँ मेडिकल यूनिवर्सिटी नहीं बनाई, तुमने यहाँ इंजीनियरिंग यूनिवर्सिटी नहीं बनाई, तुमने यहाँ एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटी नहीं बनाई, बेहतरीन अस्पताल नहीं बनाए। हमारे लोग बीमार होकर तुमने यूक्रेन का गला सड़ा गंदम दिया और हमारे गिलगित बल्तिस्तान के लोगों को कैंसर जैसी मौजी अमराज में मुब्तला कराया। शेम एक एक पाई का हिसाब लेने का वक्त आ चुका है।
The protests have now taken a sharp political turn, with activists challenging the very foundations of Pakistan's governance. Speakers cautioned why Gilgit-Baltistan finds no mention in Pakistan's constitution even after 76 years. They demanded representation, constitutional rights, and an end to laws imposed without consent. Cries to abolish draconian policies like Jabr-e-Nab echoed through rallies. From legal exclusion to political disenfranchisement, people are rejecting silence. The growing chorus from Gilgit-Baltistan now calls for recognition, justice, and a rightful place in history.
पाकिस्तान के आईन के अंदर 26वीं आईनी तरमीम तक किस शिक में गिलगित बल्तिस्तान के हुकूक की जिक्र है, किस शिक में गिलगित बल्तिस्तान के मालियाती उसूल की जिक्र है। आर्टिकल 1 में हुदूद बरार बाबयान है, वहाँ गिलगित बल्तिस्तान का नाम नहीं। आर्टिकल 59 में सेनेट की तश्कील और उसके एदाद शुमार का जिक्र है। हर सूबे से 23 और वफाक से 4 नुमाइंदे लेना है। उसका नुमाइंदगी गिलगित बल्तिस्तान में कहाँ है? यहाँ था कि गैर कानूनी जो कवानीन जबरन आपने नाफिज किया है, ये कानून खत्म करो, दहशतगर्दी खत्म करो और हमारे असीरों को रहा करो.
As Pakistan occupied Gilgit-Baltistan rises in defiance, the protests reflect more than anger. They reflect awakening. From Skardu to Hunza, voices are uniting across communities, demanding justice, dignity, and the release of unlawfully detained activists. The Joint Awami Action Committee has become a symbol of resistance against state high-handedness. With families of the disappeared leading the charge, this is no longer just a protest, it is a movement. And until Islamabad listens, the streets of Gilgit-Baltistan promise not silence but unrelenting resolve.
On the occasion of the 11th International Yoga Day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi led a mass yoga session in Visakhapatnam, highlighting India's commitment to global wellness. Thousands joined him in performing asanas by the sea. Celebrations were echoed across borders, with Nepal also marking the day through vibrant community events and yoga demonstrations, reflecting the shared cultural and spiritual heritage between the two nations. A global message of unity through yoga.
As the golden dawn broke over the spellbinding coastline of India's Visakhapatnam city and the waves of Bay of Bengal whispered in rhythm, Prime Minister Narendra Modi led the nation and yoga enthusiasts across the world in celebrating the 11th International Day of Yoga. Addressing the world's largest ever yoga gathering, now etched in the Guinness Book of World Records, Prime Minister joined thousands of participants from India and abroad for a historic yoga session by the sea.
The theme of this year's International Day of Yoga is Yoga for One Earth, One Health. This theme reflects a deep truth. The health of every entity on earth is interconnected. Yoga awakens us to this interconnectedness. Yoga leads us on a journey towards oneness with the world. It teaches us that we are not isolated individuals, but part of nature.
In 2025, the theme Yoga for One Earth, for One Health emphasizes the interconnectedness of human well-being and planetary health. It aligns with global sustainability efforts and calls for a more holistic and harmonious way of living, where personal fitness, mental peace, and environment consciousness go hand in hand.
पूरे सीमा सुरक्षा बल में राजस्थान फ्रंटियर के पूरे इलाके में लगभग सारी BOPs के ऊपर आज सारे ऑफिसर्स एसओ जवानों ने मिलकर योग किया और बहुत अच्छा एक संदेश दिया विश्व को कि हमें फिजिकल फिटनेस के लिए, मेंटल फिटनेस के लिए और वसुधैव कुटुंबकम का जो मैसेज हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी देते हैं, उस क्रम में ये सबसे अच्छा काम हम कर रहे हैं.
The occasion was celebrated with equal enthusiasm across various cities and regions of Nepal, where yoga session and awareness events were held. International Yoga Day was officially declared by the United Nations General Assembly in 2014, following a proposal by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi during the 69th session of the UNGA.
फरक भन्ने चाहिँ धेरै फरक हुने रहेछ. फरक त्यस्तो कि म जब योगामा नलागेको बेला मनमा केही कुरा भयो भने रुन मन लाग्ने, केही चिच्याउन मन लाग्ने, त्यस्तो हुन्थ्यो भने अहिले जब योगामा लाएपछि आफ्नो मनलाई पनि शान्त गर्न सके.
The day aims to highlight the physical, mental and spiritual benefits of practicing yoga. The International Day of Yoga serves as a global reminder of the power of mindfulness, balance and holistic health. As millions participate worldwide, the day reinforces yoga's timeless relevance in fostering unity in a peace and sustainable living for a healthier planet and more harmonious world.
As we wrap up today's episode of South Asia Today, we thank you for joining us. We'll return next week at the same time with more insights and updates. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on behalf of our entire team. Until then, stay safe and goodbye.